Good morning. Well, here we are at Walt's Secret Lair having another Bill Molyneaux Games game day. Today we decided we would try a classic, Struggle for New France. But this is the second edition, new and improved, and it is. This is the one done by Blue Panther, and certainly the quality of the components, again, stands out just like it did with Wise Forks. It's a higher level game, strategic level game of what do we figure? It was 32 turns long.
Yeah.
Four turns.
4 seasons.
4 seasons
to a year.
To each year, and there's 8 years. So it's a long game. We may not finish it depending on what happens. We'll see. But yeah, again, it's a high level, so it's kind of abstracted. But I think just from reading the rules and looking at the setup, it's going to capture quite well the strategic options, challenges, weaknesses, what have you, of both sides. As you can see here, if you look here at the board, it's pretty standard. It's got named points which represent the various cities, towns, forts, Indian villages of the area around and adjacent to New France, up in the northern colonies and Canada. And the victory conditions are pretty steep. The British have to control 50 points worth of these points. You'll see the little number in yellow by each point is how much it's worth. And a lot of them are like 1, 2, 4. So you got to get a lot of them to get 50. Plus to win, he's got to control Quebec, Montreal, and Louisbourg. The French requirements are less stringent. They have to have 30 points worth of stuff or control any one of those 3. So
it's all up to the British
the
to
burden's
win it.
on Walt today.
So now, what forces did you start off with for the French?
Well, I started out with the largest force I have is 8 strength points in Quebec under Dical. I had then 4 under Bougainville in Montreal and 4 under Contrecoeur down here in Fort Niagara, where we've been.
Yes.
Yes. Walt has much more in the way of forces. He's got, 15 in Albany.
You got 5 in Baltimore.
5 in Baltimore.
Or no, 7 in Baltimore.
7 in Baltimore under the Indefatigable Braddock.
2 in Cumberland.
And 5 in Halifax.
Yeah.
You can see that you move from point to point. It's pretty straightforward. You got to move along the dotted communications line there, which represent various kinds of connections. But you can see that there are bottlenecks created here, where there's only one way really to get to Fort Niagara, unless you go an end run and capture a lot of enemy territory.
But Fort Duquesne was like Gettysburg. I mean, it's got 6 roads running into it, so that's definitely a bottleneck.
Yeah. So I'm expecting this will be enjoyable. We're looking forward to it. But we'll give you a full report.
How does a play sequence go?
Well, the play sequences, and first I got to say, you start each year with 5 cards. They fall into different categories. There's cards that can affect movement, they can affect reinforcements, can affect combat. I'm showing you my cards. Crafty devil. Anyhow, no.
But you can see. Oh God, Walt, there you go. Reinforcements. It's very high quality for the cards. Great.
Yeah. Everything is.
They spent their time. So, anyways, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Anyhow, these you can play at any point during a turn, but you can only play 1 per season. So if I play a card that affects Walt's movement, that's it for that season. If I had good combat cards or reinforcement cards or something I wanted to use, I'll have to wait till summer because can't play them in the spring. So that's a nice twist that puts a lot of variability into things. Anyway, first thing you do is a reinforcement phase, which is not automatic. I'd have to play a reinforcement card in order to get reinforcements. And then Walt could interrupt me, and so I don't get reinforcements, or vice versa. I mean, stuff can happen. Then you move, and things move differently. If you have a good leader, you can move farther and still fight. If you don't have a leader, you can only move one space, or from one point to an adjacent point. Then there's combat, and the British do those three things. Then the French do those three things. Then there's an end phase where you total up victory points and what have you, and adjust markers as needed. And then you do the next season. And when you've completed all 4 seasons, and they're, spring, summer, autumn, and fall of that year, then you can get rid of any other cards you still have remaining, if you have any remaining, and get a whole new deck. But once a card's used or been in your hand, it's dead. It goes in the discard pile. Can't be used in the game. So you want to be careful about throwing cards away, especially, I should think, reinforcement cards and things like that. But we're just going to have to see how this plays, because I really don't know. Never played it. Got it. Haven't played it. Walt and I are going board game on you here, because we wanted to play some board games, and we don't do them, and I don't know why, but we're going to. So more later.
So Kevin, what do you think of the first game?
Well, it was a good learning experience. I managed, unlike my historical French counterparts, I managed to lose French North America in 2 years. But I did take, this was an odd game. I took Halifax.
Back.
But I lost, no, Halifax was yours.
Oh, that's right, right.
But I lost Louisbourg, Quebec, Montreal. I went down and captured, what?
You captured Boston.
Philadelphia.
And you took Boston. Yep.
But without Louisbourg, you don't have any French reinforcements, and that's just an absolute killer. I even have good leaders I can't bring in because I don't have Louisbourg. So in 2 years, Walt has, I think, secured a win here, because I've got, what have I got? I've got 2 actual French strength points left on the table, and only 6 Indians. And Walt has, I don't know, 30 or 40 strength points on the table. I don't know.
The British do seem to get a fair amount of reinforcements, and
well, a lot of it's how the cards come in.
Yeah.
Again, if I hadn't lost Louisbourg, lesson learned. Louisbourg's essential. They should say that in the rules. Don't lose Louisbourg.
Well, we'll give it a try, and this time I'll be the French and see if I can hold on to Louisbourg for at least another year.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin,
Yes,
we
sir.
finished our second game.
We did, in record time.
And you were the British and I was the French this time.
Yes, and it was a stunning game. French Canada extends to the Potomac. I'm still trying to fathom what went wrong. I was outnumbered the whole damn game, and I can't figure out why.
Well, the French start, we've just figured it out, with 9 more strength points, because 18 of them are Indians.
Indian.
And the Brits start with, 33 total strength points, but
Something
4 of those are Indians. And then, so they start out that way. And then what's really critical is how the cards come out. And the French ended up, because I did not lose Louisbourg, the French were able to get in, what did we play, 3 turns? 3 years. The French were able to get 18 strength points, and the Brits got 9 or 10, or more than that.
Less than that.
Yeah. So we actually got out-reinforced over the Brits.
I got about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Because generals come in with 1.
Right.
And then there was one huge landing of 3.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this game?
Oh, I think it's a fabulous game. It just got a lot of puzzles to figure out of how to approach it. I mean, a lot of it's just the luck of the draw on your cards and how they fall and how you're able to play them. But that aside, I was doing something drastically wrong in the first game and something, well, I know what I did in the first game. I didn't realize the importance of Louisburg. You did because of the first game, and it was like Gibraltar. You had more guys in Louisburg than I had in the whole British Army.
Well, yeah, but like you pointed out, I didn't need to put that many troops in Louisburg because we learn as we play, that you can't lose more than 5. And you don't have to retreat out of a fortress.
Unless you're wiped out.
So as long as you have more than 5, you can never lose it.
Well,
the important thing is you've got to reinforce it.
In one turn. You have to be set up to be able to feed troops in from an adjacent area.
Right.
And so that requires you to have a big reserve in Quebec if you're in Louisburg.
And what I noticed, it seemed like to me what your strategy initially was to try to take Fort Duquesne and sweep up from the south because you took that Indian village and destroyed it. You took that Indian village, and you did eventually take Duquesne.
Oh, that's changed hands a couple of times.
It has, and I counterattacked and took Cumberland. Which, if we'd have played one more bound here, you would have taken Cumberland back. But the real difference was that big army up in Louisburg hit Halifax. You punched them back, but they did a lot of damage to you. So the next turn, they reinforced and came in and took Halifax.
And I'm still dubious, even though I did it too. I'm dubious about the amphibious operations of any size on the French side between Halifax and Boston. I just don't think they were capable.
We don't call that commentary. We call that whining.
No, things like we were talking about how we were both doing this, throwing Indians in every fight because they soaked up all the losses.
Yeah.
That's bullshit too.
Well,
they should be half and half.
It's not in the rules, but I think that's a very good.
And there should be something. And I admit to not familiarity with this. I have to talk to Joseph. He'll know the answer about what would be French naval capabilities in Nova Scotia. He says, would they be able to launch a force of 18,000 men from Halifax to Boston by sea?
Well, if they captured the British fleet at Halifax.
They didn't capture the British fleet. Wasn't at Halifax. Halifax was just a port. I don't recall ever reading about any big naval operations in North America during the French and Indian War.
Yeah, they were more concerned with their own ports and the Caribbean.
Maybe.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, it's another Bill Molyneaux triumph, in my opinion. I'd play this game again in a heartbeat. Going to read the rules.
Are you giving it a 1 then?
Is a 1?
On a 1 through 10, how do you rate the game?
1 is low, 10 is high?
Yes.
I'd give it about an 8, only because I have questions, and they don't appear to be answered in the rules.
Right. Well, I will say, I'd give it an 8 as well. Sorry, Bill, I couldn't give you any higher, but I am trying to be honest here. But like the other game we played, the quality is awesome. Once again, they've got these counters that, I just really like this, that it's like an MDF material. The map is fine. The map does a great job. The booklet is very, very easy and quick to read, and to reference stuff was no problem at all.
There's an excellent and very complete example of play of a battle. The only thing in it that's not in it we think should be is that you should not be able to soak up all your casualties with natives.
Right.
They should do no more than half of the casualties.
It's clearly senior citizen friendly because it's all in big print.
Big print.
And we all appreciate that. So, just like that Wise Fork game with the big counters.
What will we do next time? We've got so many of his games to do.
Well, you brought Brandywine and Little Bighorn. Not Little Bighorn. Horns of the Buffalo.
I haven't done any of the Horns of the Buffalo ones yet.
So anyways, Bill, great game. Really enjoyed it. And we'll see you at Barrage on Friday and Saturday coming up. Thank you now. Bye-bye.